Bear markets and recessions are scary. They don't feel good. You come in every day, unless you're short, and I used to always trade these from the short side, so I loved these. But now I'm kind of looking at it from the other way around, and they don't feel as good. And I prefer the bull market. But this is how the world always plays out. Is there a structural change in the economy that means things don't recover? There is a non-zero, it is not a non-zero chance, i.e. there's a decent probability that we could structurally change how markets and the economy works. So that would be more scary, because then you don't get to get your money back. It just kind of dwindles on the vine. But generally speaking, I think that central banks and their magic bullet drives up asset prices over time. So if you remember that, just make sure you own some of those magic bullets when they come, and that is owning some of these assets. So it shouldn't be scary. If you've got any cash, then you can buy more at great prices. If you haven't, then you need to make a decision: is how secure is your income? That's the key to everything. Income is everything, assets are nothing. Is your income secure? If your income's secure, you just ride it out. If your income's not secure, then liquidate your assets and give yourself some cash. And in that situation, a friend of mine early on in my career gave me the great piece of advice, which was, he who has cash in a recession is king. Because that's when you can buy everything on discount. That's when you can book any restaurant you want. You can buy anything you want. So that's the key. So just, if you can keep that in the back of your mind, yes, it feels scary, but maybe you can take advantage of it. So it looks that Ethereum is over fair value because of the burning, which is a different source of demand that doesn't appear in the Metcalfe's law kind of models. I think that's interesting, and that has been why Ethereum has done very differently. Now, if that increases because of the triple halving effect, then that should further lead to the Bitcoin outperformance, the ETH outperformance of Bitcoin, which I've been watching for an extended period of time, and that seems to be ongoing. So barring any change in anything, it should outperform over time, unless something dramatically changes with volume structures. Now, we go back to earlier, what I said is, when I look at my analysis, Ethereum is going nowhere. We've got no new participants, and Bitcoin's going nowhere. But Ethereum has had luck because it's had NFTs, and they've burnt a shit ton of tokens. And that's been because Ethereum ecosystem is vibrant within it. It's just not growing, i.e. people are not coming into it. NFTs are a meaningful, culturally significant thing. And what we see of NFTs now is not what NFTs necessarily be, but we'll be using them for every ticket we purchase. We'll be using them for so many things. Insurance contracts, derivative contracts, they all suit NFTs. So the genie's out of the bottle. Sure, we start with monkey pictures, but those have actually morphed into communities and into media companies, and there's a lot going on in that space, and it's really important. So I think that is big, and I think the social token market, which I've been talking about for a while, that I'm about to go public on a business that I've launched with a bunch of kind of well-known people on that. That is coming as well. That's tokenizing communities, and you guys were very advanced in that. You've had your own social token, and I don't think the world is yet ready to understand what that means. So the sources of future demand are stacking up every day. So it's this period of time that we're talking about is where we know the technology is growing. It's in an exponential trend, but the market's been trading sideways. We've just raised, 42 billion in VC money for the space? That is going to be A, spent on marketing budget. B, it's also going to be spent on developing new cool stuff. And everybody kind of knows that we need consumer-facing applications. If not, we're just selling stuff to each other in the Ethereum ecosystem, and that is not how to get this network adoption model. So I'm incredibly positive about the space, incredibly positive with the amount of stuff that's being built, who's doing it, how much money's gone in. So crypto completely survives this down cycle that other VCs may struggle with, and other tech companies will struggle with, because everybody's fully funded. So that means that, people just build over this period, and we come out the other side with a whole set of other opportunities, because the last building period gave us DeFi and NFTs. What's the next one going to give us? So over time, in a network adoption model, these big pauses that are bear markets are just kind of fuel for the next stage. And I'm particularly optimistic because how much money flowed in. 42 billion came in over 15 months. And how much of that has been deployed? I mean, not that much.